Welcome to StenchCast.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to StenchCast. We are your hosts, Pench.
And Smench.
Shut up, no one gives a fuck. Anyway, today...
I'm gonna kill you with a knife.
But, sorry, go ahead.
What?
Hmm?
What?
Yeah, whatever. You would say that. Anyway.
Yeah, I would, actually. I just did, in fact.
Dumbass. So, how are you guys doing tonight? How are you guys? I'm doing wonderful. I've had nothing but good news in the last week or two. So,
I'm gonna change that.
I think you should die. You know, I think maybe one of these days I'm gonna throw like hand grenades at your house and hopefully hit you with one of them.
That'd be a pretty fun game to play. See if I can dodge them all.
Change my mind. This is the best episode yet. Anyway, I've had quite a few accomplishments, or good pieces of good news, and accomplishments in the last few weeks. I talked about how I hit 1,000 subscribers in the last episode, which of course means I'm monetized now. But that video that pushed me to 1,000 subscribers is now over 100,000 fucking views, which is utterly insane to me. Previous to this video, my most viewed video was, it was the first expert realism video, I believe, and that had around 20,000 views, I want to say. It might have not even had that. Yeah, that's right. And like, obviously 100,000 was a bit of a pipe dream. I didn't think that was completely likely, but it ended up happening. And I'm quite happy about that. It's still a bit hard to believe, actually. But, yeah. So, in light of that, me and, I should probably do a bit of explaining first. The video that I released that reached 100,000 views is a video essay about a FNaF fan film that was made by a YouTuber by the name of Scope.wad, or Scope_wad, which is a reference to old Doom mods. If you don't know, those were always called, you know, X.wad. But I actually got an idea for a project the other day, and after I let that idea sort of ruminate for a bit, I messaged Scope and asked him if, when he's done with the coding project he's doing, the game he's making, and whatever other projects he might have on the back burner, if he would like to work on that project together. And he said yes. So I'm very happy about that. I'm very happy about the prospect of working with someone like Scope, because I admire his work a lot. We are also two very like-minded individuals, I think, in terms of the art we consume, the media we consume.
Why would you eat media?
You know, I'm hungry.
Fair enough.
Piggy needs his slop and all.
Amen.
But, yeah, so I have that to look forward to in the maybe distant, maybe not so distant future. But Scope today brought something very neat to my attention. He sent me a screenshot. Now, he has sent me screenshots before, he has sent me a screenshot before of someone who I've talked about quite a bit on this channel, Pyrocynical. A screenshot of one of his live streams where Pyrocynical had Family Comes First, his movie, in his watch tab. Now, if you are not new to StenchCast or my channel, or yeah, you know that Pyrocynical is a massive, massive, massive influence on my content. I've been watching him since since the days of MLG Teletubbies. Shame to say. But he is a massive inspiration to me. And that has been recognized by a number of people that I've talked to that watch my content or that I've exposed to my content. Scope was one of those people that said that it reminded him of Pyrocynical, and that made me very happy. At one point, actually, in another Discord server, I was recognized by somebody. This was before I ever had 1,000 subscribers or anything like that, you know, this week.
Yeah.
So it was, I think it was when I was still around 600. So it was very odd to be recognized by somebody. Mm-hmm. But he was like, yeah, man, I really enjoy your content. It reminds me of Pyrocynical. And I know this sounds very fake. And I don't have screenshots to prove it, but I promise you it's real. I promise you it happened, and it made me feel very happy. He is one of 3 people. All right. Well, he's one of 3 people that have said that to me, and that, again, makes me very happy. So imagine my surprise when Scope today sends me a screenshot of one of Pyrocynical's streams that he did last Saturday, as of the time of recording this, where he looked up Family Comes First on YouTube. And of course, Family Comes First was there. It was just right there. And at first, I thought that's why he was sending me the screenshot. And then I noticed the second video down the list. My fucking video. Pyrocynical saw my fucking video. The man who is the biggest inspiration for me for making content here on YouTube saw my fucking video. I was frothing at the mouth. But what's also insane about that is I am not the first person to make a video essay or a response or review, whatever, on Family Comes First. And I am far from the most popular channel to do it. 8-Bit Ryan has done it to a much higher degree of success than I. Some other, like, more prominent people in the FNaF community, well, than myself, not than 8-Bit Ryan. He's been there for a long time.
He's the only one, actually.
Yeah, you're right. Like, Theft King, I think.
Markiplier.
I think he's a FNaF guy. Markiplier watched the whole video. He made a video essay about it. Yeah, pretty new for me. No. He's actually right here to talk about it. Hello, everybody.
Yeah, here for the interview.
I'm sorry you couldn't get Jacksepticeye, but I forget who has all made videos on it, but all to much higher degrees of success than I. But somehow, mine was the second one to appear. The second video to appear after the movie. Right under it. I lost my shit, and Scoped gave me the idea of changing the thumbnail so that way it said interview with creator. Because he said, well, you know, it might make Pyrocynical more likely to watch it. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, I'll do that. So I did that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough. Indeed. But, yeah, that is some of the most insane news that I've had in a very long time. This video has brought a lot of success for me. And I'm very happy. However, something else that I don't really talk about much is college. I don't talk about my experience there much. I don't really even give updates on how I'm doing with it. Obviously, we're in the summer now. My first year of college is over. Well, I got an email the other day that I thought was a mistake. And I'll give you the reason why. I was held back in 7th grade.
Yourself.
Yeah, that's right. My college told me to kill myself. No, they didn't. If anyone from my college is watching this, please do not report me. They did not tell me to kill myself. Yeah, that's fair. But I got held back in 7th grade. And I graduated high school with a 2.7 GPA. I tried my ass off to get that higher than it was, but I really fucking doomed myself. So imagine my surprise when I get an email saying that I made the dean's list, which is it's part of honors for my college. You only get there if you have a 3.25 GPA or higher. So when I got an email congratulating me for being on that list, I genuinely thought it was a mistake. Especially since I had failed one of my classes. And I didn't even know how I had done in another one because the teacher never posted the grades. I went from graduating high school with a 2.7 to rounding off my first year in college with a 3.29 something. Now that, to me, like, I know to some people watching this, if you were particularly good in high school or whatever, you may not think that's a lot. But for me, that's fucking huge. For me, that is a massive, massive, massive accomplishment. And it's only going to get better because now I don't have to take a math class anymore. I've taken most of my gen eds, and now I get to focus on doing what I love and what I'm good at doing, which is video production, writing,
Smelling.
Yeah. But I get along with my professors very well. They absolutely love me. College overall has been a very different experience from high school. And I couldn't be happier where I'm at. But yeah, that's my wonderful good news.
The
Joe?
good news of fortune and awesome.
Oh, and the other good news, I got another unusual and sold it for $100. Joe still has yet to get one. Yeah.
I'm down hundreds of dollars. All that YouTube money went into TF2. It's gone now. Never see it again.
It's real.
Thank you for
I'm
watching
actually-
my channel.
I don't know if anyone's watching, but if anyone watching has noticed, but I'm playing the finals. Playing in heavy quotation marks. I'm just very lazily customizing my boy right now.
My boy.
Which is one of my favorite things to do in this game because it has an insane amount of customization. And I think they actually plan on expanding it even further. But, yeah, Season 7 just dropped. And it is really good, I think. The new map is really good. The sponsors are kind of lackluster. It's... To be honest with you, I don't know if I'd consider this season nearly as good as Season 6 when I started, like, actually really playing the game. However, there is one change that was brought to the game that other games don't seem to have the balls to do, which is bringing back old battle passes and making them permanent. They're no longer timed anymore. I have played during almost each of these seasons intermittently. The only one that I have consistently played all the way through was Season 6, and I completed this Battle Pass. Right now I'm doing the Season 3 one, because it has the coolest stuff from the Season 4 one. And the most stuff that I would actually use. But I've been playing all the way since Season 1. I've been playing the game since launch. Very off and on. I would play for like a week, get mad at how often I was getting utterly fucking demolished, and then stop playing. and I never spent money on the game. But then in Season 6, I started really having fun with the game, and I saw how generous Embark is with the battle passes, and suddenly I was like, all right, I can justify spending money on this game now because the developers aren't dicks. And I did, and I don't regret any of it. I haven't spent like a terrible amount of money on this game.
$1 billion.
Yeah, of course. But the money I have spent, I don't regret. Anywho, there's another game we've been playing a good bit lately, which has also gotten I almost said a massive update. I'll call it an update. But even then, that's not very justifiable. Joe, would you like to talk about our favorite first-person shooter?
Team Fortress 2. Oh, the other one.
That didn't get an update.
Left 4 Dead.
But
No, not that one.
no update.
Siege.
There you go.
That's the one.
You could probably make an argument saying no update for that one either.
Yeah.
You haven't actually before you do. I'm sorry. You haven't played a new game mode, Dual Front, which I have. And let me tell you, yeah, it is the most abysmal dog shit to ever be added to the. I won't say that, but there's definitely been worse added to this fucking game. This is one of the most abysmal pieces of shits to be added to the game, though. Absolutely. Dual Front is a dog shit game mode. It's a 6v6 game mode where you have attackers and defenders on both sides. Both of you have an objective. One of you protects your objective, one team has an objective they protect, so does the other team, and the other team attacks the other team's objective. Now, for a 6v6 game with respawns, you wouldn't think that the spawn timer would be super long. It's 25 fucking seconds. 25 fucking seconds. And even then, it takes like a full 5 seconds between actually hitting respawn and respawning because there's this really long, stupid-ass fade to black effect. I've only played one fucking game of it, and I don't even know if I completed that game. I don't remember. The map isn't good. It is in Ubisoft fashion, it is the most utterly confusing maze of abysmal dog shit. It's not good. The game mode is not good. It feels like it was cobbled together by a bunch of really bad modders. It does not feel like something that was made by a AAA studio. Granted, nothing Ubisoft does anymore really does, but like this is really fucking bad. It's fucking terrible. The general sentiment I've seen towards it too is not great. If you don't know, Siege just got an update, and they rebranded the game to be called Rainbow Six Siege X because everyone knows to be hip with the kids, you add an X to the name. X Defiant, Twitter, fucking.
10, the Roman numeral.
Rainbow Six Siege 10,
Romans
that's right.
thought it was
There's
funny.
10 of them.
Yeah.
It would make
6
sense.
of them, or is there 10 of them? Who knows?
It would make sense if this was like the 10th year the game had been out. It's the 9th. It's the 9th year.
I thought it was year 10, season 1. That's what the Battle Pass says.
Is it?
That's what it said in the Battle Pass.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. I don't know if that's why they called it Siege X. I don't think Ubisoft has.
I feel like that's what it was to celebrate the 10th anniversary. I thought that's why they did it.
Okay, yeah, maybe I'm just stupid then. I'm not gonna say I'm too quick to hate Ubisoft, but on this I think I jumped the gun a little bit. But I'm not gonna say sorry because Ubisoft is a worthless piece of shit company, and I've dedicated entire episodes of StenchCast just absolutely shitting on that absolutely garbage, soulless company.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
But we'll still play their games.
Play is a strong word. More like
That's real.
enjoy it, like 7 matches a year, I would say. But
A little bit more than that.
yeah, the new season, like, they improved the game graphically, I suppose. They changed the lighting a little bit. They redesigned Clash, and I actually do, to Ubisoft's credit, I do like her redesign. Excuse me.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't mind it. It's a very simple one, but I think it's good. But aside from new lighting, a new name, and a new game mode, and Clash being reworked, there is almost nothing new about this fucking game.
Yep.
There's one change that they made to the price of the game. I wouldn't be surprised if...
It's temporary.
well, yeah, that. But suddenly, I thought they increased the price. I thought of saying that, and I was like, well, that's not exactly out of character. But no, they made the game free to play, which, you know, they've already got a massive issue with cheaters in the game. So making the game free to play when their anti-cheat is already dog shit and basically non-existent is an interesting choice.
A great idea.
Yeah. My biggest gripe with it so far is that I'll let you talk about the hit registration, because I've been talking for a while. But my biggest gripe so far...
I hope you guys like me talking about Siege.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I want to get the things out of the way that I don't think you're going to say. The biggest gripe I've had so far is versus AI. I really like this mode. I hate that it replaced Terrorist Hunt. But my biggest gripe with with versus AI in particular is the lackluster character roster. You can't even play as the same characters the AI play as. You can't play as Melusi, for one. But there's just a very small roster of characters you can actually play as, and a very small roster of maps you can play on. It's very not fun. It's a fun game mode, but it gets stale very quickly. But anyway, Joe, I'll let you take over, because I've been talking for way too long.
Yeah, so...
I apologize for handing you the microphone and then interrupting you. And then doing it again just now.
Yeah. All right, well, that was me talking about Siege.
I'm kidding. Yeah, I'm kidding.
Hope you enjoyed that little segment. Oh, yeah, that was a new comedy bit there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so funny Siege Time Town Epic Gaming. We've been playing. We didn't start playing the first day because my game obviously wasn't installed. It never fucking is when I want to play it. Yeah. So I didn't reinstall it, but I believe we started playing on the second day, and I'm pretty sure we just did the funny AI mode or whatever, the AI versus mode. AI. That's all we did on that first day we played, which, you know, that was enough, really. That was enough to satiate my siege thirst, because while I do have issues with the game, and it's you know, I'll sit down and get fucking angry at it, it's still just it's one of those games where everyone has one where you just hate it, but you want to play it. You really want to play it. That describes pretty well just about every competitive video game to ever exist. Yeah, which is the main reason why I don't like competitive video games. But you know, this one kind of just sucked me in because I got into it a long while ago, and like pretty much our entire friend group was playing it at the time. So you know, I got into it, and now I can't get out of it. You know, I followed it along for so long, you can't really just stop. So yeah. Now I'm doing that. I'm freaking playing the Siege game. But yeah, the first night of funny playing it was enough to satiate the thirst of playing it. And then after which, well, actually, that first night I believe was the night where I got like a crazy, insane kill on one of the AI. The fact it was on an AI does kind of suck because it's less cool, but it was still pretty. It was pretty epic. We're playing like I blanked. What's the map
Coastline.
called? Coastline. That's the one. We're playing on Coastline, and we were attacking. Jordan was dead. It was just me and like one AI bot. It was Valkyrie, so you know there was cams around, and who cares? Because I was just running in, gunning, and shooting. And I had my funny glass assault rifle, and you know, of course, I have to take the scope off because otherwise I am completely inaccurate. I don't know why they even put those things on guns to begin with. It's just complete detriment when you're trying to do anything at all.
Of course.
So of course I took the scope off, and well, that didn't help me because I still suck at the video game. So I found the funny Valkyrie. And I went in to, you know, dispatch the freaking enemy, okay? But what ended up happening was I whiffed horribly. Like, the worst ever.
You shot an outline. Like, at first, this was such an insane whiff that we genuinely both thought he hit her. But then when I watched the footage back the next day, I realized that he had shot somehow between her chin and collarbone so perfectly that in real life, I think she would have actually had like a bullet graze on her neck. That's how close he was during like every shot of that spray.
Mm-hmm.
Of that little spam.
So that was actually not a whiff. That was me displaying my perfect pinpoint precision.
Of course.
But, you know, Jordan, of course, didn't believe me in the moment, so I had to show him. I had to show him that I was, in fact, a genius marksman. And I whipped out... Well, first I went into the funny shower on the second floor there.
Freak.
And I took a shower because that was such a dirty whiff. I had to
clean
it up. But it wasn't a whiff, so, you know, I shot at the ceiling where the hatch was with my funny marksman. What bullets were still left in it after the gunfight. And I just shot the ceiling a couple of times and ran out. And then I switched to my pistol. And to display my genius marksmanship to Jordan, I turned to the wall, shot like 3 or 4 shots, and instantly headshot and killed the Valkyrie through the wall with no vision. Like an epic prank.
Yeah. Headshot, fucking... And then he started like, prank. I remember you started being, you were like, it goes to show, like, map knowledge is just as if that wasn't completely random, that you meant to do that.
It was calculated, I will say that. I didn't just shoot there for no reason. Because it was
there
into
was at
the
least some
hallway.
run behind it.
It was into the hallway that I was just in. I aimed at head level, which is why I got the headshot. And I aimed in, like, the path that I assumed the bot would be taking to go into the doorway.
Oh!
So it was calculated. You know, you have to have the map knowledge to know where the doors are, where the enemy's going to walk to get to you.
Yeah.
To understand how to do that. Because, like, that's the sort of thing where you see, like for example, like on Meaty Marley channel. You know, you go there and you watch him get like all these crazy wallbang headshots. But it's because he played the game so much that he knows exactly like all
game
like
sense, baby.
how. Yeah, he knows exactly how to traverse through the map and how the enemy would traverse to the map to get to him. And he just shoots in random spots that people would normally be walking, so he has a higher likelihood of getting a random wallbang headshot.
Yeah.
So it's not completely random. Of course, there are many elements of complete randomness, but it is at least being backed by cunning calculations.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the epic, funny headshot wallbang of doom that I performed, and it was pretty epic. But then the next day we start playing like just regular casual, which of course, you know, you can't have anything nice when it comes to Siege.
No.
So, you know, they start off with ranked, unranked, casual, or just quick match, I guess, which was casual, you know. And it was really fun, and it worked perfectly. And then they changed it because, you know, you can't have anything nice. They changed it to ranked, standard, and quick match. I don't know if they still had unranked or if it was just standard. But
they had unranked, yeah.
Okay, yeah. But then, you know, the quick match, oh, that's the one everyone played that was fun and everyone liked and it was awesome. Well, they ruined it. You know, they made it so there was a bunch of pre-made holes and barricades and reinforcements and shit. And it's just like, no one wants this.
Yeah.
This isn't wanted. It's not fun.
Which, by the way, at the time, I always wondered, like, why have standard and unranked in the same game? It's really the only difference it had was that... Oh, my aim is fucking horrible. Alright. Really the only difference was that unranked had ban phase for operators. And I think maps when that was added. Alright, I was doing really good prior to StenchCast. I can't hit a goddamn thing right now.
Sure, that's what they all say.
Yeah.
Fun off camera, but now I'm on camera.
Yeah, literally. But, I don't know. I guess that was the only stipulation was, well, if you like, you know, pick and ban, then this one's for you. So standard became the de facto casual. For me, at least.
I imagine for most people as well.
Yeah, because quick match was literally just turn your fucking brain off. Everything, you know, obviously, Joe already said you have the pre-reinforced objectives. You also already have the objectives revealed to you as the attackers. So, like, you literally just don't get to think for yourself at all. It is literally, like, they are actively encouraging, the thing that I've always thought was the downfall of Siege, where instead of becoming a slow, methodical, tactical realism game, now it's just a fucking team deathmatch FPS.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But standard was usually the remedy for that. Only they got rid of standard for no fucking reason.
Yeah, it doesn't really make any sense because they had the standard and it was like, oh, okay, great. This is pretty much quick match, but it's a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Everyone loved it. It was awesome. And then they're like, actually, no, get rid of it. Fuck you. You're not allowed to have nice things.
Exactly.
Which, you know, it's like, all right, man. Like, can you, like, not do that? I think they also got rid of unranked because it's just ranked. It's
I'm
ranked.
Pretty sure
unranked
unranked is still there.
Yeah, they got rid of I'm fucking retarded. And then quick match, which, you know, that still fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Because, like, the pre-reinforcements and stuff isn't, like, horrible, but
it's just annoying.
Yeah, but especially whenever it's a game about, like, making a strategy and there's all sorts of gadgets to use, and, like, some of these, like, walls that are already destroyed, like, maybe you wanted to use for, like, a mirror strategy.
Exactly, or hatches that are reinforced.
Yeah. And it doesn't work, because it's like, oh, I'm gonna do this epic thing. Oh, no, I can't. Well, I can't even change my operator now. So now I'm just stuck as an operator. I have to make a whole new plan. And go, oh, the timer's already started, the attack has already spawned, and I'm dead. Alright, cool. Well, see you next round.
Exactly.
It's just not cool.
I don't know why any game company has ever thought, you know, taking agency away from the player is what they want.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing that we should be doing. But yeah, we've been playing a good bit of quick match lately, and every time, the last few times, the ultimatum has been, after we're, like, really doing a good job, do we end on a high note and go play Gmod, or do we keep playing and potentially have another good match? The answer every time has been, end on a high note, we go play Gmod.
Yep.
Every time.
It's honestly, genuinely, the, like, most fun I've had playing Siege, just knowing, or just stopping while we're ahead, instead of just like, oh yeah, like I'm having a lot of fun on Siege again. Yeah, let's do another match. and then get completely shit on to the point where I never want to touch the game again.
It's real.
So I mean, like, that hasn't happened yet. So it's a pretty damn good strategy.
We did have a we had a 2v1 with Joe here and Bubby. Bubden.
Our boy.
Indeed. And the reason I was okay with it being a 2v1, with me being the one with no teammates, was because I knew that if I made Joe mad, he would not play the game anymore. But I know that if it were me and Joe against Jubden, then, well, he wouldn't be having fun. So I thought, fuck it, I'll eat the shit sandwich. I'll probably still have fun. And I'll just let them kind of gangbang me for a bit.
We also went off of like skill level, because between the three of us, it's definitely between you and Justin who's better. But Justin has not accustomed to keyboard and mouse yet, so he definitely had a pretty hefty handicap on him.
Indeed.
So we decided the fair thing to do would be to put the guy who has probably the least amount of skill and the guy who has a handicap on a team together.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think it worked out pretty well. I mean, I still like gave myself.
We put the infant with a gun and the disabled veteran with a gun on a team against just a veteran with a gun.
Yeah, but you know, I still imposed a few limitations on myself. Like, oh, you know, I'm not gonna play shields. I'm not gonna like use cams or make callouts. Right? It's a 2v1 custom game. I'm not here to sweat. I'm here to prank and play stupid operators and make stupid decisions that I wouldn't normally do.
Indeed.
Got me killed most of the time, but
but at one point, Jubden, I hear him like kind of giggling, and he's like, "I'm gonna prank," and I hear Joe go, "Oh, that's all on you. I am not joining you for that." Which I'm glad he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So my plan, we're on plane. We always play on plane. All right. We always play on plane, and my plan was to camp out in the room across the hallway from the meeting room at the front of the plane. All right, I just got shot by 2 people, and the game told me they were in the opposite direction. That's epic. And Jubden breaks in. And I hear what sounds like a shield operator. Suddenly, I'm very glad that Joe didn't play along. Yeah, the heavy's not working out. So I managed to get the kill on Justin somehow. But he gets mad at me. I was hiding behind a wooden desk that you can shoot through. And he says, "Congratulations, you can hide behind a table." The irony of that is that he was playing Blitz, a man whose job it is to hide behind a steel wall with a flashbang attached to it. So I started laughing my ass off about that, and that's just kind of been living in my head run-free as probably my favorite Siege moment I've had in a long while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had fun playing a game. Oh my god, we have fun playing games. Guys, this is
I'm
big
currently
news.
not doing. So I'm like sucking dick.
Shut up. It doesn't matter right now.
Alright.
Shut the fuck up. Who cares? But, moving on to the next freaking topic, okay? So, in terms of games, we've been playing... Yeah, pretty much. No, but we've been playing, like, Siege, TF2, and as was mentioned, we've been playing some freaking Gary Mad, like we do sometimes, and it's been quite an enjoying time of enjoyment.
Indeed.
If you're unfamiliar with us playing Gmod, I do have a few videos on my channel. If you haven't seen them, well, first you should definitely go watch them. But The thing that we usually, I say usually, we always get up to, and
Whether it's our plan or
Gmod,
not, usually is.
It usually is, but most of the time, you know, it's something else. But always at some point, if we're playing Gmod, there will be bombs involved. Many bombs, and it's very much fun. You know, we load in, we spawn in a billion bombs and crash the game and have to reload the game again, and then we do it all over again.
Yeah.
And we've been having a good little time. I've taken a few clips. A few of them didn't work out because Gmod, I have a bunch of like the tools I have bound to my numpad. But my numpad also has a few hotkeys that switch around my scenes on OBS for when I'm streaming. So there was a few clips, not all of them, thankfully it was only just a few, but a few of them were ruined because it was on a completely different screen, like my starting sooner BRB screen that I would use for Twitch. So that was quite kind of unfortunate, but another thing that got ruined was the funny Siege wallbang clip. I took a clip of that, and it wasn't even fucking my OBS, the whatever it's called, the fucking screen capture thing. Oh, let me just real quick open up OBS because I can't fucking remember my display capture wasn't on, which is one of the sources that you use in OBS to capture your screen. It just wasn't on, so I just didn't capture anything, and it was just a black screen with me like, I think I the wall bang, I the wall, and like nothing else. And I was just like, all right, cool.
All right.
But I did thankfully get a good few amount of clips from our time playing the funny Gmod game, and I mean. They'll be in a video, but I don't know when I'll make a video of all my clips. I have like a billion fucking clips across like 500 different folders. And there's no video started, but eventually there'll be a funny clips video out, and it'll be awesome. It'll be filled with Gmod bombing, TF2 clips, maybe a few Rainbow Six clips. There's a couple of GTA clips from when we were playing GTA. I'm still working on some other video of me and Bobbin. We watched him play like a horror game. That one's been in the work for a good few months, but
that's,
you know,
yeah.
Because it was literally. Yeah, it was back in February that he played that horror game and I watched him play it. And it is, well, not February anymore. I'll just put it that way. You know, put the pieces together. Look at the date this was uploaded. But, yeah, I got plenty of things on the back burner. But, I don't think that's going to be enough to get to the point where I want to get to. But I have a secret project I'm working on again. Or, well, yeah, again, I'll give you that. I worked on a project like this before, or I guess this project before, but I stopped, and now I'm working on it again. I probably talked about it. I have actually talked about it on StenchCast, so, you know, if you're an Epic fan, a loyal viewer of the StenchCast, you might have an idea of what I'm talking about, but I'm not going to give it away until the time is right, until I can actually put enough time in it to...
fucking fire grenade at my teammate.
But until I put enough time in it to where I actually have a decent amount of progress, I'm not going to say anything about it because, like, knowing me, I'm going to start something and never fucking do it again. But this one I really hope to actually get done this time. And yeah, it's gonna be freaking epic. It's gonna be the big project that wins the day. And it's only going to be the first of hopefully many of this type of project. That's another hint. It's not going to be a video. I'm not working on a video this time. I mean, I have like a billion videos I'm working on, but that's not what I mean.
You might be revealing too much, buddy.
No, because, you know, I mean, who knows? Maybe I'm talking about a book. Maybe I'm writing a book.
Your illiterate ass is not writing a book.
Yeah, I do want to, like, make some sort of...
You can't even speak.
Like
How are you going to write?
Amen. Amen, yeah. No, if I write, actually, it's probably better, because I can take the time to actually formulate the words instead of just having them melt inside my brain and droop out like a fucking bile of my stomach.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I have thought about, like, writing a book before, because I'm very much like you, where I enjoy storytelling a lot, but I don't have any plans of doing a book in like anytime soon. But maybe in the future, who knows? Yeah, the epic big project of Awesome Evil Doom is going to be epic and awesome, and not evil.
Yeah.
And it won't bring about doom, but it'll be epic. So look forward to something you don't even know about, because it's awesome. One day you may learn about it. Actually, whether I actually make progress with it or not, you'll probably hear about it, because I'll be like, oh yeah, I was gonna do this, but then I never did. So you'll hear about it eventually, and by then you probably will completely forget, because I mean, who fucking cares?
Fucking bitch with a riot shield. Oh my god. Yeah.
That's what you said whenever Bubden was playing Blitz.
I don't think I did, but
Definitely thought it. I know you did. I was reading your mind that entire game.
probably.
I'm also pretty sure I looked over at one point and saw you were still streaming, and I was like, oh, well, that's fine. I wasn't even in this, like, watching the stream, but I saw it was still live. I was like, oh, that's funny.
What?
Like on Discord, you were still streaming on Discord during the 1v2.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
A little prank.
That's real.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
Okay, how is this motherfucker still alive?
Your mama.
Yeah, I guess.
But yeah, so yeah, we're gonna continue on the train of talking about games here. Just recently, last Friday, as of this video coming out, the StenchCast episode coming out, a new game. Well, actually, a lot dropped. But specifically,
Including my nuts.
yeah, and specifically a new game of a specific series, that being the Five Nights at freaking Freddy's series, has dropped a new game, Secret of the Bitch Ass, Secret of the Mimic, and it is it's a game.
Secret of my dick.
No, it's real. Jordan doesn't know much about it, but I do, because I have watched people play it. I tuned into the Markiplier stream when he was streaming it. Not for long, because then we got gaming and playing and such. But, you know, I was there for that. And I am now going to give my opinion of the freaking FNaF game. I'm not going to include, like spoilers, really. I'm going to try to avoid that, just because.
While you're reviewing the game that you didn't play.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, like, I'm not gonna... No spoilers in terms of, like, specific story elements introduced within the game, or, like, specific mechanics, but I will go over a few things like that.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say, initially, I like it. I like Secret. I think it's a good game.
This fucking stupid bitch with a riot shield really just doesn't know how to, like, do anything else in this game.
I'm glad you added with a riot shield, because otherwise I would have thought you were talking about me, and I was just gonna, like, really hurt my feelings. Yeah, I was.
This stupid bitch doesn't know how to do. It doesn't know how to play Secret of the Mimic. They don't know I can do this.
Yeah. But yeah, I like the game. Honestly, I do. I don't know the public opinion of it yet, as it's only been out for a few days, and I've watched like 2 people play it. But I think it is good. As a game by itself, I think it's really good. As a FNaF game, that's a bit of a difficult question. If you asked me if it was a good FNaF game, like 5-6 years ago, no, not at all. But now, yeah, I think it's a good FNaF game.
Oh?
You know, they introduced the Mimic in in one of the books, but
I
then...
am the Mimic. I am mad when I made the Mimic or something. Something like that.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, the song they made.
Right.
But
I love that a throwing knife does more damage than a fucking Desert Eagle. That's fine.
real. But of course, like, I'm pretty sure like all the books, none of them are canon. They're just like parallel universes or whatever the fuck to help the FNaF community better understand the games. I believe is the book's purpose. But also because Scott wanted to write books. And the Mimic was officially introduced into the official FNaF real timeline of awesome in Security Breach Ruin. And that game, well, I guess DLC technically, yeah, it was pretty alright. It was definitely better. It was definitely better than Security Breach because that was like the main thing. That was Steel Wool's third game because they made Help Wanted 1. So it was their third game at that point. Help Wanted 1 surprisingly didn't have too many bugs, but I guess it was a bit easier because it was a VR game. Whereas Security Breach was, of course, well known for being the buggiest piece of shit to ever exist.
Yeah.
They definitely fixed most of it over the years it's been out. And with the release of Ruin, it was a lot... not Security Breach was a lot better, but the Ruin was a lot better than Security Breach. There was a lot less bugs. You know, they used their experience of making games, and they used it well. I do very much... I like Steel Wool as a game development company because they have they've proven that they can learn from their mistakes and actually make good games, which not a lot of AAA... I don't even know if they're AAA. Well, technically they are, I guess. But not a lot of AAA game studios can really do that. You mostly see that in indie developers where they learn from their mistakes, but it's nice to see a larger game company actually do that for once. Yeah. So that puts them in the good books for me. But the funny... not Security Breach. Secret of the Mimic. I really like it because the core concept, which this one's not a spoiler because it's the core concept of the horror, is the Mimic. Like the place you go to, the funny costume place. As you roam around the map, there are just like... I don't think they're animatronic costumes. I think they're just regular costumes. I don't think they're like all Springlock. There are Springlock suits in the game, but I don't know if all the costumes are Springlock suits or not. I don't know that for a fact, so I'm not going to state it as if it were. Yeah. But there are dozens upon dozens of these costumes just strewn about the place everywhere you go. And the big scary is the fact that the Mimic, the only animatronic really that you're being attacked by, can just get into any one of the suits, and as you're walking around, one of the suits will randomly just pop out and start chasing you. And I think that is very, very good. I very much like that idea. Yeah. Like originally, like the first like playthrough I was watching, like when it first happened, it was like, oh, okay, well, like the first one's scripted, so it's like, okay, that's whatever. And then after that, it was like, okay, well, is it going to be like a specific one every time, or is it going to be a different costume that like gets taken over? It's a different one. And I really like that. But one of the downsides, I think, to the horror in the game is the overuse of chase scenes. There are quite a few chase scenes in the game.
Do you think they're just trying to do that to get away from the whole, like, Five Nights at Freddy's jump scare game? It's not actually scary.
I presume. But it's definitely... Like, it was definitely, like, brought up in Markiplier's stream where it had a lot of... it seems to have had a lot of inspiration from Poppy's Playtime.
Okay.
Um,
which I mean makes sense. It's literally one of the most
scenes,
successful like mascot horror games. Of recent memory.
Yeah, which, you know, I mean, having like FNaF take inspiration from other games isn't like sacrilegious or anything. I think it's good to branch out and get ideas from other horror games to, you know, make the game more scary instead of just being the fucking lore whore of the mascot horror realm. But I think they definitely overused the chase scenes because there are quite a few of them. I mean, there is the core mechanic with the mimic is it'll get in a costume, as I said, and start chasing you around. But it has like it's kind of like it turns into like a stealth game at that point where you have to sneak around and not let it see you. If it does see you, there's like distractions you can do, and then there's like hiding spots you can hide from it. The AI for the mimic is very well made, I would say. I think overall in the game there aren't too many bugs that I noticed, but one bug I think I did notice was whenever you would like play one of the distraction sounds or something, or do one of the things that would distract the mimic, there were a few times where instead of going to the sound, the mimic would go directly to the player, and I think that was I don't think that was intentional. So I'm pretty sure that was a bug. That was one of the few bugs that I did see within the game.
Right.
And I think the stealth aspect is like not bad. It's definitely been done in like other games and such, but I think they do it really well in Secret of the Mimic, and I think that's another reason why they do a lot of chase scenes is to get away from like the stealth part and just have like a more action-filled sequence.
Right.
Which, you know,
I think one of the complaints people had about Security Breach was that I just jumped off a ledge. I think one of the complaints about Security Breach was that it was a bit like slow at times, wasn't it? That it was a bit of a walking simulator with how big the Pizzaplex was.
Yeah, it was a very large map. It definitely. Yeah, I mean that game just overall wasn't too well made, especially with the disconnect between Scott and Steel Wool. But, you know, again, they learned from their mistakes and definitely did a lot better. The map for Secret of the Mimic is definitely fairly large, but I think they do a lot better job of navigating you through the place because they have like a central hub that you come back to, and then it's almost like a Resident Evil game in that way, where there's like a central hub, and then you go off and do something, and you find your way back to the central hub. And I really like that. And one thing I'm also glad they haven't done, I'm really glad they haven't introduced like an inventory system, because I think that would kind of take away from like the FNaF experience, in my opinion. Because I do miss
not making it a survival horror game.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, like taking too much from Resident Evil, I guess.
Yeah.
But like I definitely miss the funny like Defend the Office game, or like style game. And there's still a lot of that
like,
in like
it's
the fan
simple.
games. Yeah, it's simple. It's what really made the series, but of course you can't just milk the same cow for all of eternity. So I am glad that they branched out with what they're doing. I think that was definitely the right step. It was just a bit of a rough patch at the beginning.
Yeah.
But overall, Secret of the Mimic, I very much like the game. I think it's a great addition. In terms of lore, I'm not entirely sure. I haven't watched any like lore videos about it. From what I've gleaned from it, there are like a little bit. I have like seen like little tad bits of lore, and I do think it'll have a somewhat significant effect on like what we know right now, like what the community knows right now. Like it'll probably answer a lot of questions, but also in true FNaF fashion, it'll answer a lot of questions, but then raise just as many more.
Or more.
Yeah.
Like with FNaF 4, I love how the whole goal was to sort of tie up the story, answer any questions that have been left unanswered, and yet it answered maybe 2 questions and left about a dozen more.
Yeah.
For me personally, I haven't enjoyed the direction that FNAF's story has gone in for quite a long time.
Yeah.
I started to dislike it all the way back in Sister Location, which I know is sacrilegious. I do like Sister Location as a game. I think it's a fantastic game. And I don't think it's a bad entry to the franchise, by any means. However, oh, I just killed... Nope, I killed 2 people with 1 fire grenade. I'm a genius. I thought I murdered a teammate. However, I don't like the distortion discs. I don't like the weird fucking, like, hyper-futuristic robots existing all the way back in, like, the 70s. I don't like how grandiose the story has become and how much larger it has become. I enjoyed when it was just about a pizzeria and the victims of its owner.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think that in terms of story, I don't think Secret of the Mimic is going to have anything for me. Like, the reason I love Family Comes First so much, the Scope.wed fan film, is because it just puts an end to the story, which I wish would have been done a very, very long time ago. It, like, it somehow managed to make me like some things that I hate about the FNaF lore, which, you know, maybe... Like, with that in mind, maybe I'll be wrong about the Mimic, or the Secret of the Mimic, and it'll actually, like, make me appreciate all of Sister Location, and what it is introduced to the story. But, I don't know. Like, for me, I never had any drive to play, not Sister Location, Security Breach. And I still don't have that drive to play Secret of the Mimic. I don't know. Like, I can safely say that I would go back and play all of the other games.
Yeah, one thing I will say about Sister Location, like you mentioned the funny discs of Doom. To my knowledge, I'm not going to say that this is a fact because I'll probably get like burned at the stake for it, but I believe that Scott actually retconned those discs.
See, that's another thing I hate, is the stupid fucking retcons.
Yeah.
Like, it was never something I really minded up until FNaF just started retconning literally fucking everything. Like, one of the biggest controversies with Star Wars is that they retconned the Force Ghosts that appear at the end of Episode 3. Or, well, 6, technically. And I never minded that. I actually thought it was a neat detail when they went back and changed it so that, Anakin appeared as Hayden Christensen. And... like, but it gets to a point where, okay, what is actually, like, canon and what isn't? At one point, the books were said to be not canon to the same universe as the games. But then, obviously, that line started to get very fucking blurry, and now I don't think that that's even a true statement anymore.
I think it's still true. Like I said, it was definitely like the books were introduced as a parallel universe, not the same universe, to help better understand like the games, because like that was like one of the things that's like Scott, it was like a lot of the community would like missed like something. He was like, oh yeah, like I'll put this in the game, and then like everyone missed it, and he was like, all right, well, I guess I gotta write a billion books now to like help put the pieces together better.
Oh, Edwin. I don't even know who that character is. I just know the funny... My name is Edwin. I made the Mimic.
Yeah, he was... I think it was another, like, one of the books, like, just random stories in the books that, like, was put in... Well, one of the things with FNaF Into the Pit, like, the game, that one is unknown if it's actually canon or not. There's a big debate over that one.
Right.
Because that one was
well, it's
one of the
based
book
off
stories.
of... yeah, I was just about to say, it's based off the book by the same name.
Yeah, but it would like it's very like that one. There's a large debate over it because it's a completely different studio, like a new studio making that game. It's based off a book series or like one of the books in the series, and there's just a lot that like contradicts like the other games, and it would be very, very difficult to say that that one is canon,
Right.
just because of its existence.
Yeah.
And honestly, I personally hope it isn't, just because it would absolutely fucking like convolute the story to like the most unholy degree if there was fucking time travel introduced into it. Like, it's just like that's.
I wonder where I've heard someone saying convoluted to describe this story of FNaF before. I've never heard anyone say that.
No, not at all. But yeah, I hope they don't do that. But as for Secret of the Mimic, I believe the like Edwin was introduced as one of the stories as well. But then the Mimic was introduced into the games. So then it was like, okay, well now it's actually canon.
Right.
And I mean, I don't see that as like a horrible thing, as long as they execute it well. Like I'm kind of in the same boat where I wish FNaF just ended a while ago. It should have ended a while ago. It would have been much better.
Personally, I think FNaF 3 should have had Pizzeria Simulator's ending. I think that would have made literally everything better. Without the extra animatronics, just the fucking end.
Yeah.
Sorry. I had to get that one out.
Yeah. But now that it's like already past the point of no return, I've kind of just been like, all right, whatever. I'll just like go along with it, as long as they like don't actually fuck it up. Because one thing that has been made clear is it's definitely like splitting into a second story. Like after like Security Breach, yeah, brought Afton back, but in a very like horrible. It technically wasn't supposed to. So it like wasn't supposed to bring Afton back, and like the thing with like Glitch Trap from Help Wanted, I just that one's kind of weird too. But it's definitely coming to the point where the story of Afton is over, and now they're making a new story around like Gregory and Vanessa.
Yeah.
And like all the other characters, which I think if they do end up making like all the everything after like Security Breach and after, and like Help Wanted, if they make all that like in the same universe but like just a different story, like I don't think that would be horrible, again, as long as they don't fuck it up.
Right.
Because at least that would give some sort of closure to the series.
I fucking love Lightman so much. They're so fun to play against. Sorry. Continue.
It's real.
It's like Scout mains in TF2. They are genuinely the most insufferable pieces of shit in fucking existence. They are so annoying. They move at literally the speed of fucking sound and erase 3 fucking fifths of your health bar within 1 bullet. It is insanity. But anyway, Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy. Yeah, it's the another thing I want to touch on actually in Secret of the Mimic is like it has its own story revolving around Edwin, and I think it's a really well written story about Edwin.
Yeah.
Again, I don't want to like go into like detail about it because I don't want to like just give it away, but I think it is a really good story, and it also is like a good enough story, or like it also doesn't overlap with like the rest of the story, which I very much enjoyed. Like they do tie up Edwin's story by the end of it, so that it doesn't like leak into the rest of the games, which is very nice. Instead of having to like, oh well, now we got to go back and add in all this context to the other games and that. So I'm very glad they did that, and I also I really like the writing of the game itself, because there's like they use like a lot of like humor with the interactions between the main character and the dispatch, which is like the Fazbear employee sending you to the job.
Right.
And it's a lot of like it's like, all right, Arnold, which is the name of the main character. It's like, all right, Arnold, you're going to...
Hey, Arnold!
you're going to Murray's costume manor. You're gonna have to do this." And he's like, "I'm gonna kill myself." That's great, man. So whenever you get there, it's just like, I really like that lighthearted approach to it, and then, of course, again, very Resident Evil-esque, where funny Leon does funny lines.
Oh my fucking god, dude!
City.
Yeah. This stupid fucking asshole just dashes directly through you as if you have no collision, and instantly kills you with a backstab. It's like if you combined Scout and Spy and gave him the ability to, like, fucking teleport, basically.
Give him an Ender Pearl.
Literally, yes! That's the fucking dash ability summarized.
Frank.
Yeah. That's my second light rant.
That's real.
It's just such a dog shit fucking... They nerf every other class's weapons into the fucking ground, but of course, you see the light, who melts every class, including the heavy, quote-unquote, who's the biggest fucking pushover of all time, within literally like 3 fucking milliseconds of seeing them. It's so fucking stupid.
And there's the third light rant.
Yeah. I honestly wish all light mains for the finals a very happy, slow, and painful death.
Mm-hmm.
In the finals.
in the video game. The game.
And for those of you who say that it takes skill to play light, that is the hardest fucking cope I've ever seen in my life. As long as you know how to aim and move out of the area the second that anyone does even a 16th of damage to you, you can play light. Because almost all of Light's weapons, again, melt people within 3 fucking milliseconds of seeing them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never played the game, but yeah, I agree.
Thank you. Appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of new games, there's really only one thing left that I want to talk about, if you're done talking about the Mimic at least. So you're to the Mimic.
Yeah, I think I had like one last thing, but I forgot, so...
Oh, well. Sorry. It's more than likely my fault.
One of the 8 light rants.
Yeah, there will probably be more. But, I'm bringing up Xbox Games Showcase once again, because there's one thing that I realized I hadn't thought of a single time, which is the fact that it's the Xbox Games Showcase. Joe, what is the biggest, like, most popularly known title for Xbox? The most common game associated with Xbox.
Halo.
Exactly. Halo launched its first game with the first Xbox. And I realized during the Xbox Games Showcase that not even for a fucking nanosecond was I thinking about Halo. That is how long Microsoft has gone without a good Halo game. Without making a Halo game in general, really, but, you know. But it's funny because right at the end, and even during this, I still wasn't thinking about Halo. At the very end, Phil Spencer, the, like, head of Xbox or whatever, Xbox Games. Came up and was like, you know, I think it was the 25th anniversary of Xbox is coming up, and we want to celebrate that by showing you a game that has been with us from the very beginning. Here's the world premiere. And then they show this really weird trailer that, like, it's like this this doesn't look like... Is this a new title? This doesn't look like anything I've ever seen before. It was a Call of Duty trailer. And if you've seen the trailer, then you know exactly why it seems so out of place for a Call of Duty game. It was so, like, vehemently against anything that Call of Duty has ever been. I don't know how, in what way it was related to Call of Duty, but at the very end, they showed David Mason and Raul Menendez from Black Ops 2. Meaning Black Ops 7, which is the game that was announced, will be continuing off of Black Ops 2's story. There is only... I've already talked about this on the last episode of Stench, but there is only one thing that I am excited for. 1.5, I'll say. And that is Transit 2 and the remastering of Black Ops 2 guns, which I doubt will happen anyway.
Yeah.
Because it seems like they've already started changing a shit ton of the designs. The game doesn't even look like it's going to have the same tone or be set in the same fucking time frame even. Because one of the things they showed was a humanoid robot that looked almost identical to one of the ones from Infinite Warfare, which made a lot of people think originally that it was a new Infinite Warfare game, which was insanely confusing. And at the same time, they had this weird, like, I don't know, what Halo's version of Cortana will be, maybe? Like, they're showing these, like, holograms, these holograms and everything, like, this absolute space-age shit, when the whole point of Call of Duty Black Ops 2 was that it was set in the near future, a very believable depiction of the near future, in which World War III, basically, was declared. And that's why it was engaging. It was a scary future to ponder. But, obviously, it seems like they've had a change of heart.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, I just thought it was very funny that not for a single second during that whole showcase was I thinking about Halo, which is insane to me. The only reason I even watched the showcase was because there was nothing else going on and Summer Games Fest was already over. And I thought, oh, what the hell.
Real.
But, yeah, that's all I've got. Joe, what about you? We've been going on for over an hour now.
Yeah, well, I got one last thing here I want to talk about.
Bitch. And I am talking to you that time.
You're going to die.
I'm not talking about anybody in game.
No,
I'm still alive. I didn't even die in
know.
the game, currently.
I know when you are talking to me because I feel the intent in your words.
Real.
And I hope you feel the intent in my words when I say I'm going to murder you and kill you. And,
I hope you feel the intent in my words when I say I'm gonna, like, sit you on a floor that has a hole in it that is perfectly, like, placed so that your balls dangle through it. And then I'm just gonna, like, you know that thing you would do in high school where you'd walk up to the exit sign, jump up and slap it? That's what I'm gonna do to your nuts. Like, as hard as I can.
So I'm actually kind of cool with that.
I might not murder you specifically so I can experience that.
Yeah, the execution may be put on hold.
Yeah.
But yeah, one last thing I'm going to talk about here, and that was this weekend. So this weekend was, Father's Day. And of course, neither me or Jordan would care about that anymore. But one thing...
It's funny you say that. Yeah, neither of us have good relationships with our fathers. We're both fatherless.
Yeah. I'd say Jordan more so, but,
all right, man.
Well, I mean, it's kind of true.
It is,
your dad live up the road?
No. That was funny.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, just don't even let me play on the platform. That's fine.
But this Father's Day weekend, I got up to some fun shenanigans, and
I found out I'm a dad.
Yeah. Got a text and it was like, "Happy Father's Day." I was like, "What?" who are you? And then my whole life just, like, unfolded before my eyes, and it was crazy.
It's real.
But me in freaking Mad Max. All right, listen. This is epic pranking, okay? So, movies. You guys ever watch movies? Yeah, probably, because a lot of people do. But if you think, think back to the last movie you saw in the theaters. What? Like, did you see a movie recently? What was like the most recent film you went and saw? One of the most popular. Like maybe the new How to Train Your Dragon movie, the live action one. Maybe the I don't know any other movies. I don't watch movies, if you can tell. But we went and saw this one movie, which you may not think of right away when I say I saw this movie in theaters. But for Father's Day specifically, the Father's Day weekend, they were playing Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade in theaters. The third Indiana Jones movie to be released, and I believe in the timeline because it just is. And of course, me and Mad Max, being the Indiana Jones fans we are, wanted to go see it. And I can't really pinpoint an exact favorite Indiana Jones movie, but Last Crusade is. It really does, but Last Crusade is definitely.
I've asked you a few times, and the answer is almost always different.
Yeah, but Last Crusade is definitely at least top 2 for me, and it is Mad Max's #1 Indiana Jones movie, and he was also telling me that there's like this app he has where it's just like you put in like movies you've watched and like you can like review them and shit, and your friends can see. Yeah. And there's like a section where you can put in like your top 4 favorite movies of all time, and that has taken a seat. Indiana Jones, the King, or not Kingdom, it's the 4th one that came out later and was not playing, the one we did not watch. But Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade is one of Mad Max's top 4 favorite movies of all time. So we went and watched that on Sunday, and we had a freaking good time. It was like an hour drive, like to and from. And we went in. We didn't get like any popcorn. The only thing that was purchased was a single large drink, because Mad Max bought the tickets online. It was about $15 each, and so he bought them online, and I was gonna pay him back. I didn't have 15. I had a 20 and a 5. So I was like, all right, Mad Max, you get like a 5 or 10. We can make this happen. And he was like, no. So I was like, all right, whatever. I'll just buy a drink. So I bought a large drink. It was $8. So that's how you know I was in the movie theater. But I bought a large drink. I mean, to be fair, it was like 40 ounces of soda. But also, you can get a 40-ounce at like
that's
Subway.
Funny. The last time I remember you getting a 40-ounce soda at a movie theater.
Yeah. Didn't happen this time, thankfully.
It's the same old woman.
Like if that happened where it was like I spilled my drink again, it was the same woman in front of me that got splashed, and she said the exact same thing, I probably would have got up and like beat the shit out of her. I'm not even kidding.
Starts sobbing. Why does this keep happening to me? Why do people keep spilling their sodas on me?
Shut the fuck up! Alright, but yeah, I got a 40-ounce soda, which for $8 is a lot, because you can get like, you can go to Subway or even Wendy's, I believe, has like the 40-ounce sodas as their large. But you can get a 40-ounce soda for like $3, like $3. So I could have gotten like 2.5 sodas for what I paid, but who cares?
Real.
I don't even care. That's how you know I am freaking gangster, because I bought a soda for $8 and I didn't even care. I did kind of care. I went home and I was like, man, that's fucking. I paid fucking $8.
That's $8 that you could have spent on TF2 gambling.
Yeah, I could have bought like 3 cases of that.
And got absolutely jack shit.
Yeah. At least I would have gotten like 20 cents back. So honestly, it would have been more profitable.
Yeah. I wouldn't say profitable, more of like less of a loss, but yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
Goes to show you should never go to the movie theater ever. Just gamble.
That's right. I mean, if you go to the movie theater, just don't fucking buy anything there. Just sneak in like a fucking water and a pack of Skittles or some shit. I don't know. Or like get the like fucking best value meal you can, or like best value deal, or it's like bucket of popcorn, a small drink, and a Milky Way for $10. And it's like, oh, dude, it's like the fucking popcorn alone's $10. I'm getting that. Just get one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went and watched the movie. It was great. We, both me and Mad Max can now say that we have watched 2 of the 5 Indiana Jones movies in theaters. And I really hope that at some point they play the rest of them in theaters, so that I can adamantly say that I've watched every single Indiana Jones movies in theaters, because that is an epic flex. And if I can do that, then I win the day, and that would be freaking awesome.
Real.
But that'll have to happen another day, just like the next episode of StenchCast, because today we are all out of time. Thank you for tuning in. StenchCast.
Start crying. Thank you.
And I was still reeling from the almost vomit throw up
Real.
prank. But yeah, thank you for tuning in to the StenchCast. We've been StenchCast, your hosts Pench and Smench. We're here every Wednesday for odd episodes, and for even episodes, maybe every Wednesday. Maybe. Last week it didn't happen, but you know, we're getting there.
Real.
Which actually, one very last thing. I mentioned last episode, I don't know if I actually mentioned on the podcast, but I'm getting new internet, so it might be different, except, I got the new internet. Okay, the new internet's here, in fact. It's literally here, it's set up, it's working, it's providing internet. But I'm still using my old internet. And that may sound silly, I know.
This game
But
fucking sucks dick, I swear to God.
The reason is I can't use it. I can't even use it if I wanted to, because what wasn't told to me. I got an Xfinity Wi-Fi, and because you know my mom was like, oh yeah, do the Xfinity Wi-Fi, do this, and it's a good deal. It's out here. The neighbors said that that's what they have and it works. I was like, all right, you know, I'll get Xfinity. Like, I had it a while ago, it kind of sucked, but it was also, like, halfway across the house from me, but actually, it still sucked. It was, like, fucking, like, actual, like, the worst thing. It was honestly, I think it was, like, maximum of 2 megabyte download. I'm not, with Ethernet, I'm not even kidding. So I'm glad we got rid of that. But, you know, the new internet I got was supposed to be, like, 200 megabytes, which 100 times fucking 2. But at 4 times my current internet, so I was really happy for that, and it was cheaper. It was like $5 cheaper per month. So I was like, all right, let's go. And nowhere did it say, and if it did, it was in the fine print where no one reads. So you know, I'm not liable to actually read that. It's not on me. If it actually said that, but it didn't say anything about needing a satellite. Which, thankfully, we did have a satellite. The satellite from our last Xfinity Wi-Fi thing. We already had a satellite up.
Yeah.
But the only problem was you need to hook it up to the satellite, and you need to plug it into a coax cord, I believe is the name of it. Coca-Cola, which is the Coca-Cola cord, which is what connects it to the satellite. And you know, when I saw that, I was kind of freaking out. I was like, this is fucking stupid. But then I noticed there was one of those cords in my room. So I was like, all right, well, this is epic. So, you know, I plugged it in, everything was going nice, and then it didn't turn on. It just didn't work. So I was like, okay, great. Now, the internet's not gonna work. So we had to set it up out in the living room, which, you know, it works now. But I don't have a wireless adapter for Wi-Fi on my computer. I could probably buy one. But I'd honestly just rather not, because, I mean, of course I'm spoiled with the Ethernet connection,
Yeah.
And I'd have to buy 2 because I have my other PC, which is a server for our Minecraft server, which is currently down because I had to unplug the Ethernet cable. I was fucking with that and I didn't plug it back in. But I need internet for that too. But also, if I were to get wireless internet adapters, it would not reach back to my room, or if it would be a very poor connection to my computer, which, with me not only paying for the internet, but also using the majority of it, that's just not going to fly.
Yeah.
So I now have to call Xfinity, get them in, and see if they can't fix the coax cable that's in my room so that I can have the Wi-Fi in my room so I can actually use it and have it work properly. Or I can just buy like a 50-foot fucking Ethernet cable, or 2 of them, and have them stretched across the entire house, which, I mean, it's a lot easier than calling Xfinity, so I mean, I'm not too opposed to doing that.
Yeah.
But I'd probably want to do Ethernet for like all my things if it was that far away, so it's just not a good idea. But yeah, that's the Wi-Fi situation. Anyway, we've been StenchCast. I said we were out of time 20 minutes ago, but we're actually out of time this time, except we're not actually out of time. We just make the episodes an hour long because that's just the standard, and we also just don't have anything else to talk about, and that was the last thing I just wanted to touch
Or when
upon
we do
real
have
quick.
things to talk about, we don't want to run out of them for the next episode.
Yeah,
and save
except
them a
for
little bit.
except for the first episode of the summer where we had like multiple months to build up and we made a 2-hour episode.
Yeah.
But that one was an exception. But yeah, anyway, we would StenchCast. Go join our Discord. It's free. It's in the link. The link's in our page bio. Go watch our videos on our main channels, which I know you did because that's where you came from. No one watches StenchCast. It's like 4 fucking viewers. It's all the same people. Like, hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? Thanks for watching again. Like, we have like 2 viewers, but at least they're loyal, so I'll take it. And got anything else to add at the end for the funny and have the?
Other than, I think that another, good thing to use as evidence for the fact that lights are over.